Yes boys, so welcome to round 4 of BPRL season 9 here in China, Shanghai. You see a little catch up from round 3 Vietnam. I chose not to upload that one. It was a good race, had a few incidents myself, but was coming back towards the front of the field. We had a safety car and a lot of issues were caused by said safety car. So the race was ended early. Afterwards, they did it back to that 22 I think, in which half points were awarded. At the time we were P4, and we had the fastest lap as well, so we walked away with 6.5 points. Then won the race. I think it was Brennan second, Killian third possibly, or Killian second, Brennan third, I'm not sure. Either way, M wins his first race of the season. We come into this race here in China with a lead of 11 points in the championship, a track that I know that Ben is probably slightly stronger than me at, but we'll do our best to minimise the gap. So coming straight into quali, obviously in BPRL we have the short qualifying format, so just 18 minutes. Your fastest time, the tyres that you used for that time, is what you'll start the race on. So we wanted to do medium hard. That was the strategy that we wanted to do. So we're on our first runs on the mediums. We're going to be aiming to be doing 2 runs on this tyre, seeing the time that we get, and then going out on the softs and improving if we need to. If you do start on the softs, it's a bit touch and go whether it's a one stop or not, so that's why I wanted to start on the mediums. So we come through the last corner, we've absolutely annihilated the last corner, so that invalidates this lap that we were about to finish and the next lap after it as well. So getting back into the pits, went back out on our sole set of mediums that we have for this session. This is our second run. You can see we're about level with our delta from the first lap time, which wasn't too great, as we get a little bit of oversteer, and that's our second invalidated lap time. We only had fuel for 1 run
Still P4.
on what is our second run on this tyre, so that is our second run
Right,
done.
3 tenths up.
So we have a bit of a
Who's
conundrum
currently
here.
on
So
P1?
we currently
That's
sit
Brennan.
19th and
That's
last,
Bad car.
having not set a lap
I
time yet.
believe.
We're just checking everyone else's times. A lot of people have set times on the softs, and there are times on the softs that we can beat on the mediums if we do match our PB.
It's the
Obviously, these
Renault
medium
car.
tyres that we have are quite worn now, 7%. So yeah, we've
They
got
go
a
through
decision to
7
make. Do we
now,
go
don't
back
they?
out on the mediums and try again, or do we go on the softs? We decided to go for the mediums. We won't have time to 2 runs, so we've got just 1 run now at this medium tyre, forcing ourselves into this strategy of starting on the mediums and going for this 1 stop. So going into this medium lap now then, through the final corner, missing the apex slightly. It won't compromise us too much on the run down towards turn 1. Don't quite have enough ERS to use for the entire lap, so put it down to none through the first long corner, using the engine to slow the car down rather than the brakes. Aiming for that apex first to get the car turned in. Same through turn 2, very difficult traction zone, putting the ERS up into hot lap. Level with our delta so far, coming down towards turn 4 I believe, looking for the 100 meter board. And using first to get the car turned in straight up to third, get a little bit of oversteer on the exit which will cost us a bit of time. Coming into the middle sector now, completely flat out through the left, using as much track on the entry to open up this corner as we can, using fourth. Tyres not quite got as much grip as they would do as new, so using fourth to get the car turned in quite steady on the traction out of there, not using all the track that we could. Aiming for the 100 meter board for this corner, second to get the car turned in. We've run a bit wide, second again through this right hander, coming onto the back straight now, crucial traction zone, and we have completely ruined it. So we are a 10th down in our lap delta so far on our first lap. The one that we invalidated wasn't great. Coming down towards the hairpin, crucial that we get this right. Aim for the 100 meter board. We've braked late, run very wide, having to use third, quickly up to fourth for traction. Only got the last corner to go now. Managed to navigate that one quite nicely again, not using all the track that we could. Coming across the line, it's a 1:31.2 and currently P9, and we don't quite have enough time to get back round to put on a set of softs and improve on that, so it's at best 9th place with a lot of time left to go for other people to improve. By the time we're back in the garage, we're already down to 10th. Now at this point I was really hoping that we would drop at least one more place to 11th so we would get a fresh choice of tyres. If that was the case, we would aim to start on the hards, hope that we don't get involved in any incidents and just take the tyres as fast as we can. Ben hasn't set a time either, so he's currently P16. He chose to go for the soft compound tyre, so looking at those times, we are definitely going to be beaten by him. And jumping to the end of his lap, he comes across the line, a 1:29.2, puts himself on provisionally pole position. We're down to 11th, so we've got that fresh choice of tyres. So here we have the qualifying order then. So it is Ben on pole, my teammate Luke second, Brennan third, Sean an amazing 4th place. Let's hope for some points in the race. Aaron 5th, Thief 6th, Mateo 7th. Scrolling down, we got to ourselves in 13th place. So we do get a fresh choice of tyres, but not in the place that we would want to be. So let's see how we go. Luke, absolutely send it. So coming on to the formation lap then. So there we are, P13 on the hard tyres. S Vettel ahead of us is also on the hard tyres, so we're looking to get ahead of him. And Leclerc on the mediums as well in 11th. Everyone ahead of that is on the softs, so they'll either be doing what is a tough 1-stop or switching to a 2. So people to watch out for there. We need to make sure, most importantly, is that we keep our front wing intact, make sure we don't get involved in any incidents, but also maintain position if we can. If we do get involved in an incident, then we haven't got any other set of hards to take us to the end of the race, so we would be reverting to a 2-stop, which defeats the whole point of doing our quali laps on our mediums. So here we are then, on the grid, waiting for everyone to form up behind us. We've got one of the avatars just disappeared, which is not what you want to be seeing. The lights coming on now, so we've got 2, 3, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are away for round 4 of BPRL Season 9 in China. Quite a good start considering we are on the hards. Chris behind us has got a great start. We're going to move to the inside. We've jumped ahead of Vettel. Looking to hug this curb all the way through the first opening corners. One of the Red Bulls wide. Goblin pushing the Ferrari wide as well, so we're up to 8th at the moment. Hoggy goes a little bit wide on the curb as well. Can we get past him? Nope, get squeezed out by the Renault. Killian moves up ahead of us, but we have gained 3 positions off the start. Up to P10. Killian looks down the inside of the Renault of Mateo. Taps the back of Hoggy, around he goes. He manages to keep it pointing the right way, but we have overtaken him as well. So up into position 9 on the hard tyres. I think we are first of the non-soft runners. So looking quite good actually from where we started, and the tyres that we're on compared to all of those around us. Don't expect us to be faster. Killian behind us is looking very fast on those fresh mediums. Certainly will be faster than us through the majority of his first stint. I had no idea how these hards would fare at the start of the race. They feel really good during the race, but I didn't know if it would be different on heavier fuel. But nonetheless, we're going to cut forward to lap 3. So not actually a lot happened in the opening lap. So we can see the front 3 have built a bit of a gap to Sean. I think that's Sean in 4th. Apologies, I can't quite see. But yeah, he's causing a bit of a train. Holger in front of us has got very poor connection, which is worrying for us. But we're still hanging on to these guys in front as he's looked like he had disconnected or had a screen freeze or something like that. We've had to get off the power. Luckily, Killian isn't close enough behind to pounce. Yeah, you can see the gap the leaders have, which is all starting to worry me actually a little bit at this point. We don't want them to get too far ahead as Sean is having to go defensive to Alex behind. Yeah, we didn't want them to get too far away as when they did come into their pit stops, as our teammate has come into the pits end of lap 3, which is quite early. I don't think you can take the hards to the end from there as we get our warning for exceeding track limits. That was actually our second warning. We got one at the same place on lap 2 as well, so we are right on the cusp as there's absolute carnage ahead of us. So we had Hoggy having a screen freeze going behind us. Mateo's hit the back of Brandon, they've both gone round. So start lap 4, we're up to P5. And yeah, I was just mentioning we've got 2 warnings at this point, so we're on a bit of a tightrope there. This track isn't somewhere that you would usually get penalties on, but there are a few places that silly mistakes can happen where you run wide, particularly the final corner and the double left-hander, which is just coming up in a moment. But yeah, we're up to P5. Only 2 cars now between us and the leading pair of Ben and Brennan. So it's been a good start so far, despite us having 2 warnings already. As we cut forward to start at lap 5 now, so we're probably in a better position than the guys ahead tyre wise. Sean brakes very early. These guys on the softs are probably struggling now. They don't usually last, as we're going to deploy overtake, looking up the inside of Sean, compromise his line. We've taken a very strange one into this right-hander, but we are all over the back of Sean, looking to dispatch of him as quickly as we can. Don't want to lose any time at all. We have Killian right behind us as well, as we're trying to put Sean off. Yeah, we don't want to get mugged by Killian. He is on and well, these guys ahead of us are as well, but Killian is one that we will be really fighting as he is on a. I know he's going to be on a similar strategy to us in a one-stop. Flying as much overtake as we can to try and get past Sean. He looks like he's doing the same, not really making any inroads. Now we're starting to with the DRS. We'll look to the inside, make sure we spot our braking point correctly. Gone a little bit deep with that, but we've managed to get the positions. That's us up into 4th place. As ahead of us we have Brennan into the pits, so this will become 3rd place. 2 Mercedes ahead of us. So Ben has quite a lead at the moment, 9 seconds we'll need to find on him over the course of the race. He's going to be going on to fresh hards soon as well. So those fresh tyres will probably help him build his lead net for when we come into the pits. As we do cut to the end of lap 6 now, so actually pushing Alex through this long corner leading onto the back straight. Should be a reasonably easy pass. Can't imagine he'll be fighting it too much. Expect him to peel off into the pits. He has a bit of a gap to Ben in the lead, so shouldn't have to worry about being held up at all. That's us up into 2nd. We can see Ben just ahead of us has peeled off into the pits, so we will now take the lead of the race. Start of lap 7. It'll be a while before we're into the pits yet, and we have a little bit of a gap to those behind us, so really just got to be keeping our head down now. Some consistent quick laps in to try and minimise the gap to Ben when we come into our stop. So jumping all the way forward then to lap 16. So we didn't see another car other than Vettel as he very lazily spins into the wall. We didn't see any other cars up until that point. We were just lapping on our own, consistently doing high 34s or low 35s. The gap to Ben has stayed around 12 to 10 seconds. So the last 3 laps before this it was around 10 seconds. So we've done alright with in terms of pace. When we come into the pits he'll be about 12 seconds in the lead, and this is the lap that we do plan to pit, so there'll be 12 laps to go when we come out of the pits, 12 seconds to make up. Looking at the gaps behind us, Brandon is just outside of our pit window, so we'll come out in 4th place. Luke, our teammate who's on the mediums, still yet to make another stop, and Brennan ahead of that, and Ben in the lead. So yeah, Luke should be out of our way by the time we come up to the back of him, having made his 2nd stop. We'll just have the Red Bull of Brennan and Ben to catch and pass. So coming into there, we're actually going green on both of our sectors this lap. So I did debate continuing. You can see the gap has gone up slightly to Ben, but we do still decide to pit. So here we are then onto the medium tyres. Ben has already gone through. Brennan and Luke go through as well. We will come out in 4th place as we said. And now we just got to put the laps in again and just watch those gaps and try and bring them down as fast as we can. 12 laps to go, including this one. 6 seconds to those ahead, and it's about, well, I can tell you it's about 12 seconds up to Ben in the lead, so let's get our head down and close it on these guys. And as you can see, it doesn't actually take us long to close into the guys ahead, so we've got that gap down to Luke and Brennan now to just 2.5 seconds. And this is our first flying lap, as Luke and Brennan are batting, and Luke goes off into the pits. So that's one less car that we have to get past. Not that I think Luke would have made it too difficult for us, as we set the fastest lap of the race. So you see the gap to Ben in the lead, 8 seconds it's down to, and 2 to Brennan. So we've gained 4 seconds in the 2 laps that we've been running, which is very strong pace. Not 100% sure that we could have kept that up for the entire stint, but it's good to know that we do have that pace in hand if we need it. So cutting forward to the end of that same lap then, end of lap 19. See, we've closed right into the back of Brennan, well within his DRS range, but he does have DRS on the lapped car of Chris, that is, I believe. He is ghosted, so he doesn't really have to get out of the way, although I can tell you it was quite off-putting having him there. You can see how much more grip we have than Brennan ahead. His tyre's now at least 15 laps old, so much better tyre position. We're going to use overtake coming out of turn 2, already alongside, get a bit later on the brakes. Not using first gear through there, which is probably a bit of a mistake, and using overtake on the exit, and we have made that move stick, so we're up into second place now, and just 6 seconds ahead with 9 laps to go, including this one that we're on. It's important for us that we nail these few corners before the next straight, and that Brennan isn't within our DRS range. It would allow him to come straight back at us, but we have managed to build a gap, and we do have a little bit of overtake left to play with as well. That's been now already down into the 5 seconds, so yeah, we can see that we're closing on him quite quickly. As we come down the back straight, Brennan already a second behind, as we just checked to see if Ben has any penalties. And we have a safety car deployed as Vettel has crashed exit of turn 3, I believe that is. Very difficult traction zone, but he has binned it, and we have a safety car, so that gap to Ben now comes down to essentially 0, but our tyre advantage is negated as well. As he comes into the pits, we decide that we'll do the same. You can see the gap to, or behind us anyway, got Luke in 4th, just outside our pit window, and especially at safety car speed, we'll comfortably come out at least 3rd, so we do decide to pit. Brennan pits with us as well. Yeah, it takes away the tyre advantage that we had from Ben, but it also takes away that gap that he had, that 6-second lead. So here we are then behind the safety car, and we see that Ben has actually disconnected, or we've got the red cross next to him, and him and the safety car just disappear. They appear about two cars behind us. We have to let them through. I can tell you that was because of a screen freeze, and it wouldn't be the last one either, and there they go again. So for whatever reason, when Ben was having his screen freezes and it was putting him back, the safety car was going back with him, so we pull over, finally let him back through, trying very carefully as he disappears again. We had massive issues with the safety car in Vietnam, and it looks like we've got the same here. So look, you can see at the mini-map, safety car is stopped just before turn 1. So the game is telling us just to catch the safety car queue, so we think, screw it, we are going to just drive around and catch back up to the safety car again. Another race of issues with the safety car, it seems. I was really hoping that this race wouldn't be cancelled or have to be counted back at all like it was last week, because we don't want to see that. We want to see a fair race where no one is affected, and unfortunately it looks like Ben will be in this case, as he's no longer in the lead, which he would have been from the safety car restart. The game seems to be okay, no one else have any issues at this point, except for Brandon, who's decided that he's not going to ruin his tyres and he's going to cause a massive queue behind him.
I don't think so anymore.
But anyway, yeah, we're whizzing around trying to catch up to the safety car, just trying to hope that this race can be restarted. But yeah, not a good, not a good advert, let's say, for the Codemasters game. This is exhibit 2,460,000 of what goes wrong with online racing and Codemasters games. It's always been an issue. People have always had results ruined from online issues. But some of the ones that we see are just awful, and you can't believe that they can make this sort of mistake. Similar here, even though Ben has screen freezes, why was the safety car going back with him? It's just ridiculous, really. You can see we have caught up to the safety car. It's still glitching around on the map, which was concerning, but we can see it is pulled over to the left here. It's still glitching around, so we're going to give it some space. As Brennan's hit into the back of us, so I can tell you he was hit by Luke, and him, so Brennan and Luke both received wing damage from running into the back of me. Admittedly, I did jump on the brakes a bit, Brennan did stop in time, but Luke didn't. I was just trying to give the safety car a bit of room as it was glitching around. Just hoping that it will make its way around safely and peel off into the pits. Sure, it will be into the pits this lap, as it looks like everyone is in order and caught up to the pack as well. So here we are then. End of lap 24, we are going to get the race underway, so the safety car did peel off into the pits safely without causing anyone else any issues, which is good, and we are going to get the race restarted. So we've got Brennan behind us and Luke behind him, who we know have wing damage. Coming through the last corner, so momentarily saw the safety car again, which was frightening. But actually behind us, Brennan and Luke peeled off into the pits, so Luke actually had a drive-through, I think, and Brennan came in to change his wing damage after turning into the final corner and realising how bad it was. So on the restart, we already have a 2-second lead to Aaron in second, and then Alex up to third on the mediums. So we've got 4 laps just to extend the lead. Not looking like we're going to have any troubles from behind. As we cut forward to the final lap then, or about to start the final lap anyway. And we've managed to build the gap up to Aaron behind to 3 seconds. It's only increased a second over the last few laps or so. Was just making sure that we brought the car home. We still had 2 warnings at this point, so just making sure that we didn't get any more. You can see as well, just a few moments ago, Ben retired, so a massive shame to him. The issues that he had under the safety car with screen freezes, which caused the issue with the safety car overall. He was looking like he was in pole position to win this race. We would have had a shootout at the end, but I know that his pace around here was strong, so I wouldn't have been too surprised if he came home with a win. I came home second, so a massive shame for him. He's not going to score any points, and we're looking like we're going to pick up 25, so our championship lead going up to, I believe, 31 points. Not 100% sure, but I'm very happy with this race. I managed to get from P13 to P1, hoping that we can keep it in order in the last few corners. The strategy worked, so even if we didn't have the safety car, it looked like we were going to be able to get P2. Well, P2 was the position that we were in when the safety car came out, and we had a chance of catching up to Ben anyway. But managed to bring it home afterwards. Felt I drove really well, and really happy with the result. So as we come up to the last corner now, tyres are starting to let go a little bit as we get a little bit of wheel spin into the last corner, clipping the curb, almost spinning, and very exuberantly over the line. All of the telemetry and data was still up, so I didn't know, as you can see I'm checking, I didn't know if the game was actually finished, if the race had finished, but there we can see confirmation of it. So here we have the results then. So it was myself, Aaron picks up a brilliant second, Brandon third, Killian fourth, Alex fifth, who did finish third on track, but unfortunately did have a penalty, Deo sixth, Dara seventh, Carl in eighth, first points of the season, well done to him, C. Leclerc in ninth, similarly well done to him, and Scott in 10th, Sean unfortunately 11th after starting P4. It's a very Sean thing to do, unlucky for him. Yeah, really good result for us in the championship wise as well. Moving on to Holland is the next race, which I won't actually be available for, so chance for Ben to get some points back. Next time you'll see us in BPRL will be around Spain, so that's in 2 weeks time, so we'll see you all then.
Oh, 13th.
No.
Oh, I would have been 4th instead
Reese,
of
this definitely
6th.
wasn't the right strategy.